Hello folks, welcome to springtime in Southern Ontario, Canada. It's going to be our first video on our pond this year. It's the middle of April, and just a couple of weeks ago there was still ice on the pond. But I just checked it, it's like about 50 degrees, 10 degrees Celsius. So she's all good to go. We can start treating this. And last year we did a lot of videos on how we kind of saved this pond. And I want to keep up with that, and I want to make sure that we keep on with our regimen. So I'm glad that we finally got a calm day, because the first thing I want to do is I want to hit it with a little bit of algaecide. We don't really have much algae. I can see a little bit down below, and I'm going to treat that, and you need a calm day for that. So this is what I use. I use Palm Pro, and it's a Pro-Clear bacteriostatic algaecide, and it is type of copper sulfate derivative. And since we don't have a lot of algae right now, I just want to be proactive a little bit. So what I've done is I've taken about half a liter of the algaecide and half a liter of water, and I mixed it in here, about half a quart. And so there's about a quart in there right now, and I'm just going to go around. You want to do this on a not too windy day, because you want to spray that over top of the algae so that it drops on it. And the next thing I want to do is I want to add color, because our pond was so low last year and now it's been filled up. And actually one time over the winter it overflowed. We've had so much water in. Our dye is not very good, and you need dye in the water to keep the algae from growing, because you got to keep the sunlight away from it. So we're going to put this on, and then we're going to throw the dye in there, and then we're going to wait a couple days, and we're going to start treating it with other stuff. So let me start that. See, the water's a little murky right now, but once we put our natural clear in there, that'll all go away. But all you can see is a little bit of fuzz down on the rocks there. So there's not really much algae coming up, and I want to get that before it really starts up. See, you can see a little bit right there. I don't know if you can see it. So we're going to hit that. I don't know if I can do both at the same time. So you want to just shoot this around, 20, 30 feet away from the shore, because the algae only grows usually in the shallow water where sunlight can get to it. There you can see some string of it. You can see a bunch right there. That's coming up there. We gotta stop that before it grows. Now we obviously, when our field flooded and we got flooded in the pond here, it brought more mud and nutrients from the manure that was in the field. So we got to counteract that. So once we get rid of this algae, we'll start treating the water to keep it from coming back. Like I said, it's a little bit windy. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to put dye in the water. So we use this True Blue pond dye. And you rip the bag open. Do not touch the contents. This is a packet inside, and it's water soluble. If you touch that, you're going to look like a Smurf for weeks. The stuff will not wash off. You have to wear it off. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to fire it out here a little bit towards this end, because the wind's taking it a little bit, and it's just going to mix. You can put this in anytime. So I just hold the package, and I hold the packet inside a little bit, and I just get it ready. I guess the packet had broken a little bit inside, and that's just from rinsing it out. The stuff is potent. Big streak of blue going right here, and there's the package over there. So I'm just going to finish rinsing this out, and we'll come back. We'll come back and look at this in a couple days to see how it's doing. Well, we're back a couple days later. Water's nice and blue, but the sky isn't. It's going to rain again later on today. The ground's sopping wet, but I got to get this done. It's windy. I hope the wind isn't too bad for the microphone, but let's take a look at the water. Do you remember when I threw that package in? A lot of that powder came out. There it is there. Still hasn't washed away even though we had a lot of rain. And here's the package. I just had this sitting in the water for the last couple days, and it still has blue dye in it. So it's pretty potent stuff. But other than that, the water's really nice. I'd say most of the algae is gone. So now we can do some more treatments. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the aerators on. So this is our aerator. And what it is in here, there's an electric motor with a drive belt running to a little crankshaft, and the crankshaft just goes up and down on this diaphragm, and that pumps air under the ground to the pond. And we have it on a timer, so it's dusted on. So I'm just going to turn it on here. Sounds like a little drum going. So let's see if they're working. Oh, there we go. So there's 3 rocks, like lava rocks, diffuser rocks underneath there. And they have little check valves. So there's one there, one over there, and one over there. So they had a nice long winter sleep, so they're working now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to treat the water. This is just a case. Now this is called Natural Clear, and it's made by Pond Pro. And this goes in the water. You just fire it out there, and it grabs what little particles are in the water, and it sort of brings them all together, and it creates natural bacteria, eats them up, and clears the water up. So for a pond this size, it says to use 8 packages, 4 and 4. All right. So I'm going to fire that in. Get this before it goes in the water. So it's kind of windy, so I'm going to fire them mostly down at this end so that the current will take it. All right, so that's in. Now last year we used Pond Pro muck pellets, and what they do is they eat the muck at the bottom, the sludge and the bacteria. So we really hit it hard last year because we had never done it. So we doubled up on the recipe last year, and we hit it hard, and I think we got most of the muck. So we'll wait till the water clears up a bit, and we'll be able to see if there's muck at the bottom. So the next thing got to do is I got another aerator. It's a big fountain. We got to do that next. So what we have here, we have a floating fountain. This guy here. It's a 1 horsepower motor, and it'll make a fountain 6 feet high, 12 feet round, and it sits on this big styrofoam pad. Now we've had this for about 20 years, and unfortunately the styrofoam's gotten waterlogged on that side. So every year I scab on some styrofoam to keep it level, otherwise it tips to the side. Now these are $500, so that's why I haven't replaced it. As long as I can keep scabbing stuff on and make it flow really, relatively level, it's fine by me. So let's put it in the water. Get this out of the way. Don't want it to float away on me. Now this only goes in one way because there's a slot cut in the in the float for the cord. Not always easy to get it. If I don't fall in. There. There. Sometimes that works pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't, and it gets ugly. Okay, we're all set. Gonna run that thing around. There, I got the rope here. And I pull this over to here. I'll have a stake in the ground. That goes on there. That goes in the water. Okay, rope here. Okay, gotta take this little fella for a walk. Come on, little fella. All the way around to the other side. There's our bubblers going. And we have another stake over here. Okay, this will keep it centered in the pond. That's good. There she is. Gonna wrap that around after. All right, last thing I gotta do is just plug it into the timer here. Okay, here we go. Ta-da! I can see by the pad it's not completely level, but it'll do. Better than it being cocked right over at a 45-degree angle. All right, next thing you gotta do the irrigation system, which is under there. Okay, so this sea serpent looking thing, it's the foot valve for our irrigation system. We suck water out of the pond, take it up to the house, and this is how we water our flowers and we wash the equipment, because we have a cistern here. We don't have a well. All the wells in the area here are either sulfur or very hard. You wash anything with it, it turns white. So in the winter, I blow this out. So I put a valve on the bottom of that and I blow air through it. So after I've done that, I put the foot valve back on. So right now I need to put the fill valve on so I can fill that pipe with water again to prime it. I use the bucket here just to keep it off the bottom so it's not sitting in the mud. Okay, close that. All right, now we got to go up to the house and charge it. Okay, now we're down in our utility room. There's our fuse box, a water heater, and there's our cistern storage tank. We have a sewage pump, and we have a sump pump down there. And this is our main cistern pump. And this is our irrigation pond pump. So what I'm going to do right now is I have it temporarily hooked to the cistern, and I don't want to leave it on there because I don't want to accidentally put pond water in the cistern. So I'm just going to temporarily hook this to here, and I'm going to charge all the pipes with water. So there we go. This pump might kick on. Let's hope I have all the valves outside off. So this is the inlet, and this is the pressure side. Pump's coming on. Give it a minute to fill up. So this pump is shut off now, and we're up to 40 psi over there. Looks like we're up to around 40 psi. So that means everything's full. All we gotta do is bleed the air out of the lines. Okay, got this outside faucet here, and I got it running to let the air out. Gonna let that run for a couple minutes. So this is the outlet from the house water. We had that on for the winter. I'm putting it onto the irrigation pump system. If I can get it straight. Okay, open that up. Okay, we got water coming out here. Let's see if any air comes out. Oh yeah, she's pushing air out. Let that run for a couple minutes. All right, we let that run for a good bunch of minutes. Hardly any bubbles coming out now, a little bit, but that'll work itself out. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, round back, we have another outlet here. Now it's running. Looks pretty good. And that's going into a French drain. Goes all the way around, and that tile goes all the way back out to the pond, and the eaves troughs hook up to that. So right now it's just recycling this water. That one looks good. All right, all the way from the house down here, we have a line, and it's still spurting out air. As soon as that finishes, that'll mean all the pipes in the house are full of water. All right, that looks good. Okay, last one I gotta do is this one. It's a suction line. Try to get as much air out of it as I can. You can hear the air coming out. All right, after several minutes of spitting and splurting, he's finally done. All right, back in the house. So everything should be fully charged now. Turn this off. Turn that off. I'll take this off. I'm going to wear a bit of water, but shouldn't be too bad. There we go. And what I do, I drop this down in the sump. Get down in there. All right, now I have to go put the foot valve back on. All right, one last thing. Now that we've let all the air out, got everything full of water, and I've taken the pressure off this. Okay, I got to quickly take that off and put the foot valve back on so we don't lose too much water. Not so much losing the water as getting the air in again. Get in there. Okay, I always put a rock in here, or two. I just push this back in the water. Make sure the rope there stays out so I don't lose it. All right, let's see if it works. Everything should work now. All right, we're going to plug this guy in. See what happens. It should only run for a second. All right. And I'm going to drain some water off down in the sump pit there. You can hear it. Still a little bit of air. Going to run that for a minute. So that sump pump goes right back to the pond. So like I was doing with the French drain, it's just recycling the water. All right, let's go check the fittings outside. All right, I got good water out here. Let's see if it keeps going. Sometimes it, there it goes, we got some air. So let's keep watching it. So that one's coming out really well. I don't hear any air. I think that's good. All right, sprinklers are working. That's the important part. Obviously it looks like some of them need to be cleaned out. Well, there you have it. Pond's up and running. Should be only just regular maintenance right now. We've got the bacteria and the dye and the bubblers all going. So hopefully, now that I've got it straightened out, the pond should be just regular maintenance. And on that subject, I was able to reach out to Pond Pro, and I was so happy with the results of their products and their help they gave me last year and ongoing. They've offered us a coupon or a discount code. So anything you buy, $500, you get $50 off. So the discount code is Marcel50, and I'm really happy they were able to do that. I'm not being sponsored directly. We're just offering this discount code, and I hope you guys will take advantage of it. They're very knowledgeable. Go on their website. They have that little bubble you can click on if you need any help. Very knowledgeable technical department, and they have a pond calculator. So any problem you're having, you can send them pictures, you can discuss with them, and they'll help you out. Every pond is different. So we had our problems here. Your problems could be different. So remember, Marcel50, $500, you get $50 off. So I'm really glad you clicked on this video today. And I've got one more problem. So I've been waiting and waiting for the ground to dry, but I don't know when that's going to happen because I got to get at this. I think you got a problem with that tree. Had really high winds, a lot of rain, ground softened up. These spruce trees don't really have a big root system on them. It's basically just a ball. So that's pulled out. So I'm going to use the backhoe. I'm going to dig this out a little bit and we'll pull it up. So that'll be our next video. Make sure you catch that. And thanks so much for watching today. Please like, subscribe, hype, and share. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks.